Mic on.
Okay, sorry for some of those adjustments. Still trying to fix out that webcam, and I still have that screen issue. But good afternoon, everyone. It's February 5th here in Chicago, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. My name's Elvin Moy, also known as Epoxi. Continuing our casting for the College League of Legends Battlefy CLoL series. So if you've been keeping track with us, this is now the third week. Scarlet Hawks currently at 1-1, victory against Kansas State due to forfeit win, and then a loss in a pretty stupendous 0-2 fashion against St. Louis University, one of the top seeds here in the North Conference. We'll just quickly go into the presentation for what we've got today for week 3. It's going to be against University of Pikeville. Talking about season overview, we've already gone over this. This is the North Conference where teams will be playing in a 6-week format. Hawks already at 1 loss means that they are in a must-win situation now, moving on if they want to continue their run into playoffs, but we'll see how far they go along. If they do get to move on, they'll be moving on into those top 32, top 16 brackets where there is scholarship money available. Talking about our roster for today, it should be the same. It's going to be Joseph Haskins in the top lane, David Federer-Vicius in the jungle, Thomas Wagner in the mid, Jacob Bowden bottom, and Heather Worth into support. Talking about the varsity season so far for them again, seeded currently 1-1. And then for their opponent lineup for the U-Pike Bears, it's going to be Circus, Jord, Uwu, Halal, Tylox, God King Anubis, Aiku Gear, and Hisoka. I already hear the sound for the pick bands coming on, so let's just jump right into that. Normally I have a little bit more prep work done, but it's been a fairly odd day. Not going into too many details, but came down with a little bit of a health check with a bleeding nose, so I had to take care of that, and that kind of threw things off in the gear and a couple of just background chores. But enough, talk about me. Let's just kind of just jump right into the pick bands. It's going to be IIT here on the blue side here for game 1, best of 3. And it will be first couple of bands here on IIT will be focused on the jungle, which looks to be Circus. It's going to be the Shaco and Fid. Meanwhile, U-Pike is going to be going with the Vagar and Corki, focusing on the Yordles. It seems like Corki, we know, one of Swire Turtle's favorite picks there, as he is one of the top players for that. And then Vagar mid also just seems to be kind of removing some of that mid power away here in terms of the 1v1 capability between him and Hylox, it will look like. IT kind of going for their Jinx pick or ban. Seems like they will go for the ban. We have seen Shmovie have a pretty solid Jinx performance despite a late start, in some of his games in Kansas. It took a while for him to build up, as it is kind of one of those late game carries. But looking like IT just doesn't want to deal with that option. Doesn't look like they want to opt for a first pick either for that if they can help it. And Pike will respond with the Hecarim ban there for jungle for Big Boy. Interesting that they're leaving the Xin up. I know that's one of Big Boy's preferences, so wanted to see if they're trying to feel each other out, or maybe perhaps try some new team comps. First pick here, Avashoi will be picking up the Aphelios there for Shmovie, it looks like. And so, one of the newer bottom champs that we've seen as of late, there's been of course, the newest one that's come out has been Zeri, but I don't know if IIT team has practiced against it lately or played with it. And then it looks like Anubis is going to be picking up perhaps a Karthus jungle or a Karthus mid lane, And that looks like more like a Viego jungle there for Circus. I should put a post. Sorry, just dealing with some logistics stuff, putting some posts on our on our Discord to see if we can maybe get some live viewers here to support our Hawks. But as I was digressing, a couple more picks have come out. Lee Sin there picked up the biggest big boy. The Vex there looking like a new pick that we haven't seen before, I think, on the Swag Turtle. This will be your first time. Nautilus there will be the last support pick there for the support for Halal. Is it? I think it's Halal. I should look that up. How to pronounce that? Because I thought Halal spelled with just one L.
Halal.
Yeah, it's Halal. But I don't know if he intentionally tried to spell it with just, maybe he didn't get the in-game name preference with the original Halal with just one L. Anyway, let's see. I think University Pikeville, let's, while we're waiting for these picks and bans to come across, I'll take some more time to check to see how they've been doing. So Pikeville. So the U-Pike Bears also have gone 1-1. Let's see. So Pike, they went 2-0. They're ranked 34 seed, while Illinois Tech Esports is ranked 38th, so it should be actually a pretty good game between these two schools, once again, like what we saw similar with Kansas. So Pike won against Forehead, and then in their round 1 match, they lost to the 37th seed against Purdue Fort Wayne. Interesting. So seeming like this kind of middle tier group of schools like that, maybe 20 through 40th seed, is a pretty good battleground here for the North Conference. Just kind of just see. You might get some surprise wins coming through. Couple more picks here. We are gonna be having the Gangplank and Set there banned for IIT, so top lane picks focused. Meanwhile, and then Pike will respond with the bot lane bans against Furapora with the Karma and Rubu. IIT will round it out with the Gnar and Morgana. And then looking like Graves. That couldn't be a Graves ADC, could it? Perhaps Karthus Nautilus bot? And then Graves jungle? I don't think Graves is normally picked as a bot lane. And then a Silas mid. That's so looking a little bit different from what I predicted, or Silas top, I suppose, or just a complete hybrid. We'll have to see. IIT definitely going for the more traditional kind of picks. Looking like as the kind of positions and the swaps are taking place, it is going to be a Karthus Nautilus bot lane. A big CC from Nautilus will definitely be in their favor. The Morgana shield should definitely help though for Aphelios. I know that was one of the bans that IIT had to suffer with when they got that taken away in terms of the CC shield. Graves jungle versus Lee Sin in a 1v1 is Lee Sin will have that upper advantage, but once if Graves gets those items, he will definitely be able to 100-0. And then Silas versus Gnar, another interesting matchup. Gnar going to have to be careful with managing his rage, definitely to win out duels and perhaps act on ganks from either side. We're going to get hit with a 3-minute delay. While we wait for that, I'm actually going to take the time before, instead of actually going to the break screen, to fix my slides real quick, because I haven't had a chance to. And I don't think we want to bother using my face just because, again, I have a bleeding nose and I don't think I look presentable for today. Opponent's logo will be Pike. Let's see if I can find their logo. Alright, I think that's almost there. Tech scores will be PIKE. Alright, got about 2 minutes left. I'll just jump into the weight room. And then when we get back, game 1 on its way. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Alright, thanks you everyone for your patience. Games are getting on their way. Once again, CLoL Varsity Week 3. It's going to be Illinois Tech Hawks here versus University of Pikeville, the Bears. Hopefully I have their logo still correct. This is one that I have from my database from way back. IIT's actually played Pikeville before. I don't know if it was our varsity league or not, but this is actually not a unfamiliar matchup, at least in terms of schools. We have played them before. I think IIT won actually against Pikeville last time. Taking a look, it's going to be a standard approach here. Once again, going over to IIT roster, Fearport will be on the Morgana support, Shmovie will be on the Aphelios bottom, Swag Turtle on the Vex mid, Big Boy will be Lee Sin jungle, and Gnar for average Joey. So, once again, a do or die situation here for both schools if they want to continue to run in the CLoL bracket, at least to make it past conference. But regardless, should be a interesting, match between these two guys. It's going to be, again, just an evenly seeded match. So I'm looking forward to some clean games, but hopefully that won't be too much of a stomp as we saw from last week's game against St. Louis. Again, a number 5 seeded school against a number 38 or something is going to be a little bit more one-sided as opposed to 34 versus 38 seed. Standard approach here is going to be Graves putting down a jungle here to just keep an eye out if the Lee Sin decides to go for any kind of those early invades. Pikeville still a little bit cautious though. Doesn't look like they want to take any chances, keeping all of their entrances covered. Graves will be starting his way into blue buff, while Lee Sin opts to go for a solo red. IIT though going to take the chance to get out to their lanes early. That should already give the information for Pyke that the jungler could be starting in any lane, or on any side, excuse me. Hopefully though, with Shmovy and Morgana here, this could lead to a early level 2 start there against Kugir and Halal. Again, one of the big things we're going to be having to watch for is the use of that Morgana shield to protect one of them from getting hooked from Nautilus. That'll be a big CC aid. I wouldn't be surprised if she actually opts for that to go for level 2 as opposed to going for her W Tormented Shadow pulls. Meanwhile, on the top lane island, both sides reaching level 2. Gnar, a little bit of an advantage here with the lane pushing. Vex coming in here with a roam, putting a ward here into near their red buff will keep track of that Graves. Meanwhile, the mid lane, early days yet, both mid laners reaching level 3 pretty much exactly at the same time. And then we've got a Nautilus here roaming here for a potential level 2 opportunity with a gank. IIT should hopefully be keeping some pings alerted if anything's happening. They should be able to see that Nautilus hasn't been showing around for quite a while. Pings coming in here for Nautilus to be looking at something. He is going to show up. No action taken though. Summoners available here for Swag Turtle regardless. We're going to try to take some time to push up the lane here. Likely, probably not an early back, but once again another big roam here with Halal moving all the way around here. Trying to look at perhaps a 4-man top lane gank here. Evershowy gets the inkling that something's amiss here. But it's going to walk right into that. He does have the flash available, going to be using it to get away. But that's going to be almost 3 members here. Vex and Lee Sin here trying to close in. Q is available here for Lee Sin, but they're probably going to just use it to get themselves right out. Going to land it on a minion. And nothing too actionable here besides just the flash here from Gnar. Bot lane's going to be taking advantage of that though, pushing their CS lead to about just 10 here. And Karthus is, you know, being smart about it, not deciding to be overly aggressive. But Halal here with a very, very big roam here is going to put him significantly behind, almost about a level behind Poro here. So we're going to have to see if the payoff is going to be there. It'll give, of course, some time for Kugir to take advantage and soak up some extra XP. And we'll be hitting level 4 earlier, of course. But we're going to have... What I'm interested most about this playstyle, right, is kind of like what is Pikeville kind of aiming for this kind of more untraditional bot lane pick. Maybe perhaps like a big level 6 all-in advantage, maybe with Viego and Silas, perhaps. Kind of hard to tell. Big wave here, pushing here for top. Average Joey hasn't had the chance to back yet, though. So he's gonna slowly just work his way through those minions. Should be more than okay, though, and maintain his CS lead here with a few hundred already under his belt. First dragon will be the mountain, and has spawned already. A couple of members of IIT have already started their backs. Lee Sin already getting the Iron Spike Whip, likely to build that into that, I forget what the item component is, but Gore Drinker maybe? Is that it? Anyway, first back there for Vex is going to pick her up a Dark Seal of all things, and some boots, and Morgana will go for just the boots and some wards. Looking like she did have to rune for the commence stopwatch, of course, which is traditional. You know, Zonia's for Morgana is always a good thing. Provides a decent amount of engage, but early dragon here started for Pikeville, looking like it's going to be uncontested. No members of IIT here going to go forward for it. And that will be the 6% armor and magic resistance there, starting off early here for the Pikeville Bears. Another roam here from Halal. Likely not going to yield any results. The control ward there from, I think, placed by the Morgana is going to pay its dividends. And IIT now, Shmovy just hitting level 5. Interesting that we're not just looking like not too much hard commit here from either side. They're just going to be trying to rely on their team fighting where they can. A nice little pull by Morgana is going to chunk the wall down to just under 500 health. And looking like it could be a level 6 advantage there for the Hawks in the bot lane at least, for a 2v2 at least. Graves still will be finishing up his Krugs. Looking at any potential gank, doesn't look like they're going to go for anything of the sort. Plant here going to be whacked in by Graves. Going to be walking right into that. Could be Smite stolen. Neither jungler actually has Smite. Circus, thank you very much for that Leech Lee Sin, but he will be able to grab that. Thankfully, not too much of an XP check. Biggest Big Boy, though, wants to look at something. He is level 6 here, has a decent amount of rage. Could be an all-in here. Q going to land. Nice little shove, but that's nicely stolen ultimate from Silas is going to actually be able to... It's actually so unfair for Gnar. Imagine being able to not have to worry about rage and just being able to launch your level 6 ultimate. Meanwhile, my poor little Yordle has to suffer with having to manage his rage constantly. It's also one of the reasons why I hate playing Gnar jungle, just because it's so hard to manage your rage to be like going in for big engages. Fioraporo though, going to whiff the Q, and doesn't look like Halal will respond though. Doesn't look like he will respond though, as they are aware of the Morgana shield and are going to respect it. The Swagger Turtle roaming around here. Lee Sin available here too. A bunch of lot of action coming here. First Blood still not available. First Blood still not taken actually, excuse me. But doesn't look like we could see anything yet. A nice little dodge by Average Joey. Could be having him go for another all-in perhaps. He does have the rage available this time. It's going to get a little bit of a speed boost. Coming in for the all-in. Oh no. And that's the First Blood. Average Joey tried it. But just, unfortunately, just the kind of burst potential of that Silas and just unable to get that rage to get that level 6 just quick enough is not going to pay off. And if anything, Kugel would have probably finished him off with the ultimate as well if it was like a Gnar just kind of going for that all-in. First Blood, of course, will pay off nicely and giving up, like, what, 500 extra gold, so we'll see what Silas can do with that early lead. And the CS has pretty much caught itself back up as well here in the top lane. Ward being placed by Vex will have Halal spot that out with his lens. Morgana will be placing a control ward, but will also be cleared out. The Q, once again, whiffed by Fioraporo, unfortunately. It is one of the slower projectiles, though, to be fair, so it's a little bit easier to dodge. It requires kind of a little bit more practiced hand, I suppose. Biggest Big Boy roaming around here will be spotted by this control ward. I'm not aware of it, unfortunately, at the moment. He is going to see that the wolves have been untampered with, but it's going to be Circus and Halal making work on this Rift Herald. And once again, a pretty big objective here, not contested by the Hawks. They seem to be content with just trying to get as much turret plating as they can with about the 3 or 4 minutes here. Big Boy coming in here. Vision will block him from actually being able to see what's going on. I don't think it would be enough damage just yet. It's very close. Big Boy here, 200 health left. Karthus with the ultimate available would have probably been able to just kill him if he had maybe channeled it just in time, but meanwhile, Gnar is going to be shoved out of his lane entirely. All 5 plates here available for the top turret. Could be put down early. Will get a pretty big payoff. IIT going to try to see if they can maybe contest for a first turret. Shruvi does have a couple of items with pickaxe and Inferno to do a little bit extra damage. It will be the last play here falling for them. But could it be the first turret advantage? The Swagger Turtle going to be rooted up there, getting a lot of CC and the all-in from the... Still has the flash available. He is going to go for it. And Tylox will be able to dash right in. I don't know if Average Joey, not with enough rage, is actually going to miss catching his boomerang. It's going to slow him down once again. And 4 members here top. Rift Herald being placed is going to look at being the blue team capturing first turret. Hey, alright, very close margins there. But first turret gold is still good for the Hawks, so they're able to walk away with just a little bit there. Unfortunately, they are a little bit behind on the kills department, but they're going to take advantage of all those members here in the top lane and go for their next dragon here with the Cloud. And hopefully the Hawks get it. Shouldn't be a problem and will give us the information about what the next dragon will be. It will be the Arcane Drag. One of the things that happened recently, if we haven't talked about it before, has been the Chem Tank Dragon being removed. And I think we saw that in week 1 against Kansas, but apparently just a lot of player feedback seems that that's not the way that Riot or the player base wants to see Riot move in the direction of objectives. Chem Tank apparently being just a little bit too broken when it comes to early roams. Flash initiation here by Halal, and Vex will not have the ultimate available. Will not have the flash available to get herself out as she used it earlier in the top lane. Another Q whiffing, holy cow. Point blank hook missed and bind missed on both supports there. But Shmovy is going to rotate here into the mid lane priority. Karthus is going to take the time to chunk away these bot lane minions and make some work onto the bot lane turret, still with all of its plating available. IT going to have to try to kind of rethink their strategy as we start moving into the mid game. Give me a sec. I want to see if there's been any Twitch comments. No viewers. That's unfortunate. But lead starting to push into Pyke's favor. Pike's favor with those kills. A little bit of presence here in the jungle is going to have Biggest Big Boy have nothing for him to be able to grab. Lots of pings here coming out for the Hawks. Hex Flash being used by Knowledge. They want to go for an all-in. The hook will land here on the Swag Turtle. Will he be able to have get? Will he be able to get out? No siree. But the Vex looks like it had just enough damage under that turret dive to be able to pay it off. A lot of control wards being spotted here. Morgana going to try to see if she can chance a hook. It's going to land. Big Boy here trying to go for an all-in. This is 3 members though. Hook will land, but the ultimate from Circus will be able to finish it off. And I don't know if IIT thought that it was going to be a 2v2, but it quickly turned into a 3v2 there in Pyke's favor. And Pikeville's favor. But IIT still trying to respond where they can. Still taking some objectives. They are going to be able to take down the mid lane turret here, which is definitely going to open up the map a little bit. The Swag Turtle going to try to see if he can hold, but will not be able to hold on to that tier 2 top.
Bring it down a notch.
And looking like another Rift Herald spawning in 2 minutes. Still has some time before we see too much action, but definitely this kind of coordination, at least in terms of team fighting, is definitely working out in Pike's favor. I'm not sure if the Hawks are just kind of unsure of their matchup, not unsure of like the burst potential, but they're definitely not giving the respect needed in terms of not being able to be shot down. And it's not even necessarily a vision issue per se. It just kind of seems to be like a situational awareness and just not really respecting the CDs right now from what it seems like. Shmooey though is going to have a sizable lead here. He's already got a bounty on his head just because of the CS, so he's, look at that gold lead, already 3k ahead. So I feel this is definitely going to be big, you know, in terms of just what he has in terms of items. But, you know, Pikeville, for what they're worth, they've been smart about it. They haven't been really looking for any engages on that Aphelios, so maybe just giving time for their other laners to just kind of build their own items up and be able to take him down regardless of the early lead that he's developed. But we haven't, you know, seen him too much in these fights. Still a 0-0, the only member of IIT with no kills or assists. Average Joey walking face first into the Gnar, and Styles will be able to capture that with that ultimate available for a bit. So another invade here from Pyke is going to have them take their blue buff while Gnar had his. And it's going to be the Rift Herald spawning now. Not too much vision here on IIT's side. They don't have too much information on what's going on over there. But Lee Sin getting caught in between a rock and a hard place. And again, just the situational awareness. Not really respecting, you know, what's going on in terms of their own jungle and trying to move together as one group, really. Meanwhile, Pyke is just ready to kind of converge on that. Looking like probably going to be another uncontested Rift Herald. The Swag Turtle is just, you know, they're looking like it's just trying to be a CS game. They're trying to just maybe IIT perhaps opting for a strategy, just waiting it out. But, you know, the longer the game goes, the more kind of all-in potential and that it builds there for Pikeville. This is going to be the third dragon now spawning. The first Arcane here. Arcane Soul here up for grabs. IIT doesn't look like they really want to opt trying to... Doesn't seem like they have an all-in potential. Morgana does have to stopwatch. A flash ultimate play here could be big. Nard doesn't have the rage just yet. The flash ultimate here going to be narrowing down Aphelios. He is going to have to flash out. Barely holds on with a sliver of health, actually. And a Karthus ultimate could finish him off. I'm not sure why they're opting to hold on to that right now. Again, it's just not sure if they're just holding it on for some other team fight potential, but definitely could have been another easy kill there for Pikeville. And the lead now at about 1k here in favor of Pike. Aphelios though not dying, so he doesn't still being able to hold on. Rift Herald being placed down should be able to be now the mid turret falling down without a problem, it looks like probably here for these guys. Will chunk the turret to maybe just above 1k health. We'll be able to take it just in time. Nice little bit of fear. That is a lot of damage. They're going to go for a big boy flash. Halal flashing away, but the CC a little bit too much. The root will land for Peter Poor. She is going to be using the ultimate. Chains are going to grab onto a couple people, but IIT still trying to respond. Triple knockup from the Nautilus ultimate. Vex and Aphelios trying to go for some kills. This is big for Shrewy. He's got a lot available. Gale Force not available at the moment. But IIT coming even in the trade 2 for 2 here. And perhaps with the assist from the Gnar ultimate, could look like they might want to... Doesn't look like they're going to go for any more though. Instead just going to take what they can from inside the enemy jungler. And a couple of kills is beneficial for Aphelios, looking like the damage was there. Stopwatch, unfortunately not able to chain anyone up, but you know, it still does some initial damage, right? So it's not the worst. 212 initial, and then an additional 212 if it holds through, so... Just a nice little triple knockup though from Halal. There's definitely that burst potential there. You can see how quickly those IIT members fall if they're not careful. So they've got to definitely build a little bit more bruisery, or at least be able to, you know, they won't be able to last long against a burst unless they have like a some sort of lifesteal or a GA, Zonias, all of those things. Everfrost though is good for that kind of comp, for an all-in kind of thing, so we'll be able to kind of, you know, stop any invades if it's, or stop any big dives if Pike kind of aims for that. Fourth dragon now spawning in about 2 minutes. Vex being caught between a rock and a hard place. She does not have the flash available. I don't know about this pathing. Everfrost will land and do a decent amount of damage, but Circus is becoming unstoppable. Look at all of that shutdown goal. Biggest big boy wants to converge in on this. TP here from Gnar being used, but it doesn't look like it's going to be just enough damage. He's going to flash himself out. Karthus ultimate will not be strong enough to kill just yet, but Silas will be able to dash right in, finish off the Vex, finish off the Lee Sin, and only Halal falling in the process means that the fight is in advantage of Pikeville so far. Avashili does have some rage. A big ultimate would be huge here, but Silas has his as well. Grabbing that Gnar ultimate is so big there for Pikeville, and it's just a better Gnar, you know, just able to not have to worry about losing any rage behind it, you know. It's just one of the most frustrating things about that champ. Minute and a half until this spawn. All Pikeville's members converged here near the river / mid lane. It's gonna take a while for Gnar, you know, to kind of build back. I don't know if the option is going to try to just get the rage out early. Looks like it is. So it will be a little bit of time before Gnar's going to have that Mega Form available again, so we'll have to see what happens. IIT, not too much information in terms of what's going on inside past their jungle Aphelios. IIT just doing their due diligence, cleaning out what wards that they can. And you've got 3 members here in the top side. Ping's call it here for a Baron play. And Pike does have the information. They do have a ward deep inside there. Average Joey though, trying to see what he can scope out. INT gonna just try to clear what wards that they can. Halal walking right into that, but not even going to have any more distractor. All 5 members almost clumped together there. A big Vex ultimate would be huge if they could just be able to kind of land that wombo. It's all really dependent on Average Joey to be able to have enough rage to generate for that fight. The Swag Turtle biting off a little bit more than she can chew though. And just not there just yet. Average Joey still has the rage, but it's really important to be able to manage it. If Silas is able to grab the ultimate though from Dar again, it's just going to be too much probably pressure for the Hawks to be able to be worried about. It is going to be able to be able to grab it, and again just an uncontested objective. Just IIT not able to play their comp efficiently, really. That's all I can say about it. The Morgana should be placing the shields on the Vex perhaps instead of the Aphelios. The Gnar has to have the rage and has to be confident to be able to go all in. But you know, just Pike just playing the patient game, you know, kind of in that face-off, just the Hawks just don't have it in them to commit, and it's just a slow bleed here, you know, unfortunately for them. So the fortunate thing is that they're not turning out into, you know, 5-0 aces, but these, you know, objectives are building up. Now it's soul point here. One more dragon will be Pike's advantage, and just that objective bonus will be too much for them to handle, at least even if they are only just a little bit behind in gold. It's just the pure power from those guys will be enough to take them on head first and win in a full 5v5 commit. So Pewdieporo does have the Zonias though. I don't know if this is gonna, you know, pay off too much. She's got to use it. I think IIT just has to commit for the 5 power play. They just can't wait any longer, I think. Otherwise it's just going to kind of push it out of control. IIT needs to maintain vision, move as a unit, use the Morgana Qs to kind of initiate just clearing out spaces where they can. Otherwise it's just going to be the waiting game in favor of Pike. BT, Gale Force, and another BF sword will be favorable for the Aphelios, but that 4k gold lead, you know, is that really just enough? See, like this kind of thing, like the Swag Turtle moving on their own is just not, it's just not smart. I think it has to be like the Swag Turtle and Pewdieporo playing together, moving together inside their jungle. They are moving as a unit now, but it's kind of just, it's just kind of uncoordinated, you know? They've got these unleashed teleports. They have to be using them smartly. Pikeville once again making their clear here of the jungle. Not allowing IIT a chance to kind of see what's going on just yet. It's just a waiting game, but the all-in burst is just too strong right now. Another Q whiff. It's just, I don't know. The Morgana is the correct pick, right? But you have to be able to play it at the collegiate level to be able to last up against these guys, and so far it's just not paying off. Unfortunately, too much just yet. The only redemption has to be like putting the shield on like a Vex, landing it all in. Average Joey's going Pikeville paying their respects, not letting flash initiation from the Swag Turtle. Fight starting off here with a double knockup, and that's going to be a no ultimate. Gnar Big Boy will instantly fall. IIT going to try to get their way inside here. Shmoovy is big here. Decent amount of picks. Flash play here onto the Grace. Able to finish it off. He is still alive. And IIT able to come out on top there. Shmoovy going in big with a lot of damage there. And, oh no, Shmoovy, what have you got for me? Q will land. They've got to try to get their way through that. But it will be the ace finally coming through. Does IIT have enough damage though? The 3-man despair, and Pewdieporo is very low. We'll get some healing back, but I don't think IIT can do it. No, they're going to opt to just let it go. It's too strong for them at the moment, unfortunately. The BT just not going to be enough. but 1 minute until Dragon is soul point for them. And the kills, though, in IIT's favor, definitely letting them catch up a bit. And the Swag Turtle, bad time management. It's going to definitely be late coming in for this drag. She does have to unleash teleport, though, so it's not too bad if the fight immediately breaks out. But they're going to try to hold on to their objectives. Big boy here will be able to land, but the nice spell shield from Morgana able to make him walk away safely. Pikeville with the advantage here in terms of pushing out. Dragon will spawn pretty soon, but no spell shield this time. Too late for Big Boy. Ultimate here from the Swag Turtle will not be able to go off. The Zhonya's enough to keep her alive. Now her own Zhonya's in place. And a couple kills here coming out. Average Joey coming in big. He needs to ultimate himself out. Able to push it out. And only Graves now just alive here. 4 members of IIT available here. And Shmoov should be able to just kind of one-shot Circus as long as he's able to play it smartly. A little bit of that honey fruit will be able to keep him safe. And IIT looks like they have the information to start this drag on their own. It will be a smite advantage though here for the Graves if he decides to go all in. He is going to be using the plant to get himself all the way over. Still, they're going to try to push it out, wasting the time of what they can here for it, but it is the smite. It is a big advantage here if Shmoov is not going to be able to land it. Smite advantage, and there you go. Red team able to capture that soul point. Silas now here dashing over. Shmoov has got to go in. He needs the help from his team. Is able to get the kill, but at the cost of the 1,000 gold bounty. And, man, good discipline from Graves. Just IIT not really able to focus him down enough. You know, able to just give just enough health for Graves to burst it down. Is going to be able to have the Arcane Soul here for Pike. And taking a quick look at what that is, it's the, essentially Static Shiv. You're slowing them, you know, doing extra damage. And then it just kind of stacks on these kind of team fights, which in this case for Pikeville's kind of style of the kind of all-in clump is definitely beneficial for them. So we talked about it before, just IIT, I think they are able to kind of win their way through team fights now, but it's now kind of the objective bonuses that is just going to put Pikeville kind of on the map there to kind of even themselves out. So Baron here. Looks like they're going to kind of commit here. Pikeville moving in here. They don't have the information, completely blinded out in terms of what's going on. Lee Sin coming all the way around. Hook will land. And it's going to be very close here. They're all in here from Shmoov. Vex will have the ultimate, and they're going to just kind of wait it out. Here to portal very low. The all in, the nice ultimate from the Silas stolen ult, but IIT able to walk it out all the way around, and now turns it into their favor. This time Graves doesn't look like he's going to go for the miracle steal this time. All 5 members of IIT alive, and a nice play, good discipline from them to be able to kind of pull it out. And University of Pikeville just, you know, on a odd display of non-team synergy from that suppose that we saw in the early game. Kind of just lets their Silas die on his own. Look at that gold lead on the Aphelios. That is a very large player right there with 4 items to boot. And in a 1v1 situation, he'll even be able to last his own against Graves, I'm pretty sure. Graves is big too though, so definitely keep an eye on him. It's definitely Graves and Silas as the playmaker. Pikeville's bot lane is just meant for initiation with the Nautilus and just for finishing it off in terms of team pressure. But let's see how the Hawks kind of make use of this buff. About a quarter of it depleted. Trying to see if they can spot what members that they can. It's going to be a 1 in 4 push. Average Joey, no TP available here. The tier 2 mid will fall. All 5 members of Pikeville converging. Now 30 minutes into the game. Kills are even. A little bit of a gold lead here for these guys. And there is a sizable wave here pushing up to the top. Does IIT want to transition towards there though? We'll have to see. even with the Dragon Soul, though, looks like IIT is confident in their ability to kind of go for these all-in fights. So it's definitely kind of a make a matters kind of like who strikes first now. I don't know unless they're able to get another Wombo for Pikeville. IIT definitely has the tools to survive Zonias for Vex, Zonias for Morgana. It'll just all good things to kind of extend that team fight. And Lee Sin taking that advice to mind about building a little bit more tanky, looking like a Randuin's perhaps, being used here with that Warden's Mail. I don't think it's Warbox, right? Because, yeah, there we go, Randuin's. 75% of the Baron buff now depleted. Looking like IIT only able to get the tier 2 mid with that buff, so it's enough though to kind of just push a little bit more, you know, push their lead to just build up a little bit more gold, just take whatever objectives that they can inside the jungle, and then kind of just hope that they can win out for the next fight. It just seems to be the big fights they're just kind of aiming to be playing for these objectives, and that's all in the supports to set up the vision. That's all in the catch out potential here. Vex here with a decent amount of energy built up, or whatever is that thing that she uses to stun people. IIT members, Average Joey though is going to have to build up some rage if he wants to be ready for this fight in 1 minute. He's got time to build it up, but it's got to be him that has to be able to be ready for that fight. And Silas, he's been able to capture the Gnar ult almost every time, which is a huge threat for IIT. But unfortunately, that one time in the Baron pit was in the Baron fight was just not advantageous, just because he had no members to respond with that 5-man ultimate. IIT now getting a little bit more ballsy here. They're coming in right inside their jungle. Biggest boy coming all the way in here. They're gonna destroy the Nautilus immediately. God King Anubis will fall over. Shmovy left untouched, and IIT closing it in here. Will have all the members alive, and that's going to be practically the ace in IIT's favor. And the Hawks instead are going to take the 20-second timers, and looking like they might want to be closing out the game here. Should have enough time. The Nautilus will just fall over against a 5-man here from IIT, and could be a game 1 victory here for these guys. So IIT, despite the kind of deficit early, they're able to close it out, and that's going to be probably the GGs coming through. Still 10 seconds until you're going to see anyone, and that's going to be just Nautilus deleted off the screen, and game 1 in favor of the Hawks. 34 minutes in, 23 kills to 17, 60.7 to 53.3k gold in favor of the Hawks. GG. Yeah, I mean, you know, despite me bashing the Hawks about it, they're able to play their comp finally, or just it felt like solo queue. I really would have liked to see a little bit more proactive or reactive gameplay for the Hawks in terms of just being able to kind of not get caught out in the jungle, or maybe have just a little bit more teeth for fighting in for objectives and whatnot. But oh, excuse me. MVP for that game though, Shmovy for sure. Just gigantic gold lead by like 7k or whatnot was absolutely disgusting. Karthus, you know, just was not. I think I understood what they were trying to think of with that pick for sure. But even so, you have to match the CS. You have to match the damage at least, even if you're going for a more untraditional pick. And unfortunately, Kuya was not able to deliver on that front. Water break. Why is my client always busted? Damn you. There we go. I think it's because every time maybe they make a new client or like I go to new client, the ID changes maybe. That's the only thing I can think of. Put some music on the side. Alright, game 2 on its way, and it'll be IIT once again on the blue side actually, it looks like, and let's see how both teams adjust to what we saw from game 1. That Silas pick, huge though for University Pike, very smart against a Gnar. It's just a better Gnar, really. Just you can have the ultimate, you hold on to it for a full minute, you know. It's definitely one of those just champ diffs that they have to kind of fix up on Gnar. Either have to be more generous in terms of the ult depletion, the range beater depletion, or something. Similar bans here. Pick one, round 1 here for IIT. Jinx, Fiddle, and Shaco taken off once again. I think they took off the Hecarim here from Pikeville last time. Or are they going to opt for that again here? Nope. Change pace here. It will be the Corki, Veigar, and this time Aphelios being removed here from Schmoopy's playmaking potential. But yeah, just his ability to 100 and 0 anyone that they had in that game was just so big. And even against a pure like 1v1 Silas dive, he was able to hold on his own with just the BT, the lifesteal, and all of that. You know, just that burst. IIT has their own kind of burst to return. Zindo finally getting picked up here for Big Boy, and he will, you know, we have seen some impressive performances, some outplay potential here, but when I was in the lobby, I saw that, you know, they've got a Grandmaster jungler, they've got some pretty decent diamonds, it looks like. I don't know their ranks if they're Tylox and Halal, because they were unranked, so I'm not sure. I'm not in charge of the OPGG research for the teams anymore, just due to casting, but you know, I think if Pikeville wants to come out on top again with this kind of card, this bot, they need to match. At least in the CS department, they cannot have another 7k lead here from Shmoovy. So Zeri though gonna get picked up, and is gonna be used mid lane or bot. Something to keep in mind. Lulu though picked up there for Futaporo. And I think that's a change of pace because Lulu got banned last time, right? Lulu Karma, I believe. So IIT going to take advantage of these to pick up their bot lane, or at least their support, here on the first set of picks. Meanwhile, a couple of changes here from Pike completely. Still have the Karthus bot, but this time, or Karthus, or maybe a different Karthus in the lane, who knows. But Leona support there for sure for Halal, and Trundle likely jungle there for or potentially in the top lane. Couple more bans here though. Viego gonna be removed as a jungle here, and I was saying I thought that it might have been like a Trundle jungle, but looking more like a Trundle top lane here. Which in a Trundle versus Gnar matchup, I think Trundle definitely does have the advantage if you're not able to manage your wave correctly and whatnot, and the 1v1 potential. Average Joey though definitely fell a little bit behind in the 1v1 department against the Sal's. Just a little bit of higher skill outplay, just putting it frankly. Had him on the front, had the Sal's kind of able to steamroll a little bit in the top lane there. Meanwhile, for bans, Gangplank removed once again here for IIT. From IIT, and then the Vex this time being taken away by Pikeville and Ahri mid lane. So that's looking like 4 mid lane bans there. Oh my. So looking like Tylox is saying, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna win my lane this time, and put the Swag Turtle in as much of a disadvantage as possible. And we'll have to see how the Hawks respond. Set picked up there. So looking like maybe set top, Trundle, jungle, Karthus bot. Karthus bot with Leona, huh? That's an interesting style. Leona still has potential to 1v1 any ADC if she so chooses, you know. Even in a full dive potential like that. Oh, last set of picks here for Hawks. It'll be Cassiopeia for Swag Turtle, and the Kled top lane there being hovered. And we are going with a Singed. Alright, couple of last second rapid changes, but a lot of AP damage there in the mid top with the Singe and the Cass, and we saw some synergy that IIT had with the Singe. You know, they were able to do a little nice amount of CC, good chase potential, but you know, is that really the aim for engage? I think IIT can definitely be in the driver's seat here, but against dive potential, it could be Pikeville coming out on top. So it's all kind of dependent on like how strong is Pike's burst. Like if Pikeville can just like 100 to 0 someone fast enough, and if they can't, then they're running for their lives, and then that's when it flips into IIT's advantage. So it's gonna be a lot of like 5v5 team fight potential that's gonna have to show like who comes out on top. So alright, 10 seconds until we hit the spectate. We are going to go onto the break screen, and when we come back, game 2 on its way here for the Pikeville versus Illinois Tech. Stay tuned. All right. Well, once again, appreciate everyone for staying tuned here. If you're just tuning in, the Hawks took the Game 1 victory against Pikeville in a pretty convincing fashion near the end. Definitely had their bumps and bruises in the beginning with a little bit of objective control and a couple of catch-outs, but a few 1v1s that became difficult for them to handle. But they turned out okay, all's well that ends well, and let's jump into it. So IIT will once again here be on the blue side. It's going to be Average Joey in the top, Biggest Big Boy on the Zinjao, the Swire Turtle with the Cassiopeia mid, Schmovie showing a first time performance on the Zeri ADC, and Lulu will be on the bot for Feared Poro as she trots gaily through the bot lane, trying to keep their options open. And traditional approach here from everyone here. Cassiopeia will watch her entrance there on the top. Zeri there in the bot bush. That's a cute back. And it will be the Oracle lens being picked up right there to start. As she much more slowly roams her way through there.
Have spawned.
Man, for all the crap that Riot gets with their balance team and their champ design, they do not fail when it comes to the visuals for these skins. Skin, Zin, I think it's Commander skin, Zeri, no skin, that's reportable. Leona skin, Karthus skin, Trundle also has skin. So in the skin to win department, University Pike is taking the lead there. A couple pokes being thrown out there. Shmovie and Lulu are going to start their aggro there onto the bot lane and pushing themselves up. Already lens being used to try to see if they can just dominate their push here, and that's going to be no CS there captured just so yet by anyone. Average Joey also, though, suffering in the CS department, but that's, you know, his job. Meanwhile, Cass hitting level 2, and a pretty large wave there being pushed all the way up to Tylox's lane. Meanwhile, Karthus gonna slowly make his way through these minions, and Average Joey will just now start to use that poison trail to start getting his own level 2, and a couple of wards. Some CS to his name. Nice little bit of a toss there. He's gonna chunk him with a turret hit, but shouldn't be in too much of a worse of a position. Another toss and another turret shot, but God King Anubis able to respond in kind, and could be, you know, let's keep our eyes on for that level 3 gank potential. Meanwhile, Circus going in here to Swag Turtle. Nice flash to get himself past that pillar. Well played here for sure, but that is going to be a valuable summoner's lost. Meanwhile, Circus will start munching his way through that Rift Herald. Will not have the pillar to bop it up. And Zin just going to go for the full clear top, leave his Singed to his lonesome, and make work towards now on the bottom Rift Scuttle. Or Scuttle Crab, excuse me. And we'll take it with no problem. IIT though. Shmovie and Feared Poro doing a pretty good job on keeping that pressure there on the top, in their bot lane, making the Karthus life as miserable as possible, and looking like Halal seems to prefer the kind of all-in potential. We saw with the Leona, we saw with the Nautilus, but I don't think the pick is necessarily meant for IQ geared, you know, to act on. It's meant for his other laners. We saw all of that roaming potential. Hold on here. Average Joey does have the flash available. Cyrus will have the pillar, but it's not going to be enough to keep him pinned. Just barely able to walk out of that one, and once again, 2 flashes being used just because of Circus's presence is going to be pretty big. As he's showing himself again once more, and Average Joey, he's got the idea that something's remiss. Doesn't really want to risk going up there. but it is a pretty big wave. They're kind of just trying to play it out. Average Joey wants to commit. He's going to hit one ward. Level 5 here being hit. Flash initiation from the set. We'll be able to ground a couple members, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Average Joey, you gotta not fall for it, dude. You just can't. Why aren't you putting a ward down or something, you know? It's just a poorly misplaced ward or something. I just don't know. That's really frustrating to see, I think. Like, he knows that it's there, but he just can't resist a minion wave because it's pushing. Like, if that's the case, just back or something, get an early item. Like, obviously, you know that you're already effed because that's just... Singe does not play... Ugh, to win lane. That's not how he plays, and I don't know. That's just frustrating to see, for sure. Ward will be able to catch up to Xin here. Potential dive play here. Kugi will not be able to be landed. But, biggest big boy is still going to work his way through this Gromp uncontested. But they want to go for the dive here. Will not land this time. Halal going in all the way here. Oh no, Pewterporo will be getting the execution. But are we going to be seeing any more here? And meanwhile, what we saw in the mid lane, finally, this Fire Turtle will fall, but again, that's just all in Circus, dude. This guy is definitely able to threaten his laners where he needs to, and help his laners where they need it for sure. Shmoovy, hopefully you don't get baited this time like Average Joey in terms of the CS. Nope, it's going to be Circus and Tylox making their way here for the first drag here in the mountain now. Average Joey having some trades here against the set. It is going to be level 6 advantage here for him. And we'll have God King Anubis in the front seat. So in terms of matchup, I think it's pretty clear what we're seeing. This disparity is definitely in the top lane. Average Joey just not able to handle the pressure from their jungle and top presence. Bot lane clearly in IIT's favor, it seems like. You know, I had some doubt. I did have some doubts when I saw like the Nautilus Halal with some of those plays and roams, but it seems like at least in terms of pure bot skill, or at least just able to just CS properly, Shmoovy is definitely in the front seat for that, right? We already see a 30 plus CS lead here for him. It's got to be at least like 400 or 500 gold, right? Oh my god, already 1k. And then the roams are coming. Halal wants to try to push his lane, his solo laners as far as possible. There's no more trust in Shmoovy. 4-man dive top here. Average Joey not even close to, maybe 1 minion away from level 6. And oh boy, you've got a lot of guys coming out here. The ultimate's going to be stolen. The pool's not going to be enough to keep him in place, but here comes the dive. One more. We'll have the level 6 finally, but it's just not going to be enough, dude. I'm sorry. And just nothing he can do there, unfortunately. Just keels over. And Kugi will have the sense enough to just not go for anything else. IIT tried to coordinate their dives. They ended up coming out ahead since it was just an execute, you know, on Lulu's side for sure, which is great. Which is also extremely dumb because you're Karthus and you should at least be able to land 1 Q to be able to get the kill. But, whatever. Like, just flash and auto at that point, you know? She's gonna skate all the way over, and while we're at it, I can just take a quick read about what she does. So she shields herself. Hold on. Another fight here. Biggest big boy. Level 6 here is going to be using the ultimate. Won't be able to clear any members out. Ultimate here used by Set to barrel him right through the ground. And again, just this top presence here is coming out here on top for Pikeville, and they've got to be able to use this early lead and kind of continue it. I think it has to be transitioning Circus and like Anubis down to the bot lane to be able to kind of shut down Shmoovy. They definitely, I think, learned their lesson. They should have learned their lesson. They can't allow bot lane to get that out of control. The lead has already started though, so they're gonna have to try to see what they can do anymore in the early game. IIT also was able to get the first power advantage just by a mere margin. Turret already here about halfway health, 2200 health left. Silas coming here for a roam. It should be spotted out by this ward that's been placed by Poro. All in here is going to have Halal fall over. Shmoovy will not be able to land the ultimate. So, and that's going to be Tylox coming in big with that kill under his pocket. Shmoovie, though, will be able to keep herself alive. Riot's newest champ. Full range of abilities include Burst Fire, Ultra Shock Lasers, basically a vault ability, and then her ultimate is essentially just like a Blitzcrankle, I guess, plus like movement speed. I don't know how to describe it. I haven't played with this champion yet enough to talk too intelligently about it. Another roam here from Hello. Oh, don't do my Singe dirty like this. So they are gonna see her roaming. Now the question is are they going to let Singed be walking all over once again? You know, Trundle does have the Rift Herald if they just let it go. It should be finally a first tower there in advantage of University Pikeville, but we'll have to see. So Singed gonna have to take the backseat, unfortunately. Will have an uncontested first tower, and that's the coordination there working out in favor for them, and it's just not going to be enough damage this time. Cougar able to hold out on his own. Fear Power is going to take a couple of hits. Will be able to hold out on her own. Level 6 ultimate being used. Doesn't seem that there was enough damage. And no Rift Tail this time. Oh my. Okay, Halal with a big dash here. He's going to actually dash to keep the Leona away. I don't know about that one, but honestly, I would have probably just dashed in for Leona and then just launched her back so she would definitely die. That would have been the outplay move, perhaps. Singe was still healthy enough. That's kind of a slim pickings kind of like thing to obsess over, but nevertheless, it will be. Don't we have a first tower stat in here? Excuse me. I don't know. That is weird. Alright, Cleanse. Also take a look at the summoners here. Cleanse here for Zeri will be, yeah, for Zeri for Shmoovie. In this case will be big. Finally, IIT responds with the Dragon of their own, though here. Ocean is great for them. Halal wants to try to look for an all-in. Lulu will be using her ultimate to try to just get away from what she can, but she is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Unfortunately, not able to get herself out. No flash either. Talas will be on the rampage, pick up his 4th kill, and increase his bounty to now 300 gold. IIT going to just have to run away as much as they can. Leona ultimate not available just yet. Ward will be able to catch Shmoovie out and Zin as they make their way towards this red buff, but no more members here to converge on that. 3 members here of Pikeville making their way here towards the bot tower, and Trundle will finally put down his Rift Herald. Sorry, I accounted for it incorrectly. But that'll be able to get this one. 4 members here rotating around now. They are going to let this Rift Herald go now. Singe will be able to pick it up. 25 gold in his pocket. And let's take a look. That's a 2k gold lead there for Set. That's gonna be 2.2k gold lead for Shmoovie. 1.6 in favor of the Silas. 1.5 there for Circus. So again, once again, it's all on Shmoovie to kind of carry this game for the Hawks, at least in terms of team fight potential. But the all-in is definitely much more scary. With a Set, with a Silas, they're able to have definitely a little bit more sustain in that department. A well-placed cast ult though could stop their you know, an initial all-in ping being sent out from the caster Pia. She's got an idea that the Set's around. The is going to show up here, and Zeri's going to make time with just continuing to build her kit out. This time going instead of the BT with the Kraken Slayer. A smart choice, honestly. These guys are going to be super tanky. Zeri needs to be able to hold out on her own, just to be able to 1v1 anyone if she is just put in a situation like that. Karthus for Pikeville just provides annoying poke damage. Alright, Halal here, what did you got for me? He is going to have his ultimate available. He has the Ignite available. No flash though. So can't look at any too fancy of a play, but that ultimate is still pretty big. Circus and Anubis coming around here. They are going to see that Big Boy and Swag Turtle are around the area. Now you're going to have 4 members here rotating around, but they've got enough time to clear out these minions. And just kind of stabilize the game right now, it seems like. Pikeville doesn't seem to have too many early objectives that they can get away with. All the tier 1s except for mid have been removed. And it's going to be a while until you have any big tier 2 fights unless they kind of go for an all-in commit. Halal just does not have enough armor at the moment to be tanky for team fight. She's only going to have the Moby boots. Hasn't finished her legendary item. Meanwhile, more or less the same here. Big Boy though, going for the commit. Halal going to be finished off. The polymorph used pretty early here. Cougar will fall here so far to fight in favor of IIT. 5 members alive. The ultimate still not taking any lives yet. Anubis is going to flash in to be able to finish off the Xin. Average Joey's still alive. Tyloo will finally fall, and the fight goes into IIT's favor. 4-1. Biggest Boy is the only member here falling. And we talked about those big fights. The Karth is just negligent damage, you know, only an amplifying tome and a Doran's ring. And I don't even think he maybe had those bought before this team fight. He might have just bought it now when he died. And I think he only had that. He's got the Lost Chapter and Fiendish Codex now. Will actually be, for a change of pace, the second Rift Toad now here going into IIT's favor. And it is going to mess up the timings a little bit. You do have the next Arcane Dragon here spawning. So we'll have to see if IIT can get themselves back in that quickly enough. It's going to be a while though. So Leona will have her ultimate available for the fight. Trundle will have it. No Karthus ult this time will mean that they won't have enough kind of like burst 5-man damage, and at least just to finish everyone off. Set does have his Unleashed Teleport. He does have his ultimate coming up just as Dragon spawns. So Cass will have hers. Singed will have his a little bit late. Shmovie will not have his actually right when it spawns. So IIT's got to be careful here. You've got all these members here grouped around IIT. Very, very limited in their vision. They're going to go all in here against Assassin. They are 3 members trapped here. They're going to try to fight it though. It's going to be all the members of Poro being called out. She's going to try to have to push herself by moving up. Shmovie's still alive here. Very close here. Still cutting herself out. Bacon Boy trying to buy whatever time that he can. Cleanse still available here. And it's going to be very close. She's going to have to try to run her way out. The exhaust being used. And it will be finished off. Average Joey now in a 2v4 fashion. 2v3 fashion. Going to have to see what they can get. The Rift Herald's still alive. Able to chunk its way here through the tier 2 tower. That's a good thing. I don't know if it would actually be able to kill off the top as well. But Dragon of Life here. IIT actually able to capture the Scuttle as well. And who fights first? It's going to be Sal's using his TP to get here to the Arcane Dragon. Doesn't seem like it should be contested. Hold on. One more charge here from the Rift Herald. It's going. Hey, nice big chunk of damage there. It's going to be great here for the Hawks. So they lose out on the kills, unfortunately. They are and on the drag, but still applying a little bit of tower objective pressure is good for them. So still anyone's game really. Kills are relatively even. Gold is relatively even. We've got a couple members of IIT still pretty behind, at least in the gold department. Cass cashing up back a little bit, but the Shmovie going in big. He did have a decent amount of damage. It's just not enough at the moment yet. These guys are still pretty tanky, and it was a 3v1 situation, and he held on to his cleanse. So IIT though, definitely. There's just you saw like how Pikeville had set themselves all the way up here in this back vision bush. IIT just cannot keep their own jungle in check. It's definitely where they're suffering, and it looks like it's happening once again. Big Boy here coming all the way around. It's going to be the dive here onto the coup here. He's going to flash himself out. Has a stun though. It's not going to be enough damage, and that's 4 members there collapsing on biggest Big Boy. Not able to take advantage of that just yet. Average Joey slowly bleeding away these minions with the poison trail. And it'll take a sweet time. Not too much worse for wear. It's going to be a Karthus backing up, grabbing himself a Leandries there. He's got the Sorcerer's Shoe, so definitely just landing 1 Q, getting some poke damage onto the IIT, which will be big. Looking like she's going for that second burn item. The name precedes me at the moment. Oh no, don't tell me you're gonna get picked again. We can't have this happen in a CLoL game, dude. Swag Turtle gonna have no flash available. Called out here. Swag Turtle coming in. Gonna try to go all in. Nice ultimate to kind of hold it back a little. Just too much damage though. Won't matter anyway. And just gets called out like a bee in a bush. 4 members now converging around this Baron on IIT. Definitely falling behind in this mid game. They're just falling to easy picks. It's gotta be more practice. It's not solo queue. You know, you just can't assume things. You have to always think, if I don't see a bush, then there's like a 50% chance that there's someone in it. You know, that's the mentality you have to have in collegiate. These guys will try to cheese you. They're trying to do just anything in the playbook to make it as untraditional as possible to throw you out of sync for sure. IIT trying to do their due diligence right now, clearing the wards where they can. Lulu has a couple in her pocket. She's got a control ward as well. But still has the ones placed down here by Poro, so it should keep an eye out. Next Arcane Drake spawning in just under 2 minutes. A couple members of Pike gonna back out. Leona's gonna have to lock it. Gonna have a little bit more tankiness in her kit. Meanwhile, Shmoovy with the BT Kraken should be able to have a little bit more sustain. Should not just enough damage yet, I think, to be able to pure 1v1 like a full-on bruiser like Set and Trundle. That's just my opinion, though. We'll have to see in terms of his outplay potential and how broken the champ is just in general. He's mostly gravitating here towards this bot side. They look like they want to set themselves up. Cass, being smart about it though, knows that she doesn't want to get killed once more. We'll let the mid tower fall over here. And they're being smarter about it for sure. But IIT has to, they're definitely respecting, at least it seems like, where these guys are showing up. So everyone's showing off right here. Zeri laser will zap a couple players. Did I just see Shirelius just get launched by Poro? I'm gonna count that to a misclick, but this next 5v5 fight will be pretty big. Looks like all members here from both sides are going to want to commit towards this. IIT slowly inkling their way out. You do have a flash, Leona. You do have an ultimate available on her. A flash engage could be big, and it could be enough damage to kind of burst their way down through it. Couple of members here being pushed out. They're going to have to commit. Tyla's going to start it off with a flash engage. It's going to not be enough. The engage here, not going to be able to stun here any members here with the Leona ult, and it will be Anubis falling here first. Average Joey going to be flashing himself out. The poison damage might be enough to finish off Tyla. It's going to be very close. Karthus ult though, not going to be enough. Oh, a little bit of a misplay there. IIT though, able to handle their way through that fight though. Big fight there for them in their favor, and yeah, just Karthus not, even with his ultimate, it's just not enough damage. They gotta be more confident in Cougar to get some more poke damage or something, but still with all members dead. 2 unleashed teleports available, but no wards except here on the back side. We'll have to see if the Silas and Tylos think about using it here. IIT will start their way towards this. It is going to be Baron now taking it to just under 5k. Doesn't look like they're going to commit for it though. So no TP plays, but it will be all 5 members able to benefit from that Baron buff Singe that respawned just in time. Shmoovy though, once again, showing off big there. Able to just kind of take away their divers. Able to even kill the Set mid-air was pretty big for sure too. That's a lot of splash damage that they were able to avoid. And it seemed like Singe was tanky enough, even with just Rylai's to his name, to be able to at least just not instantly fall over. But I think that's likely just a bit of Pikeville dedication that was misplaced in terms of where their damage wanted to be. Seems like they were trying to focus a decent amount to Swag Turtle, but the flash engage is just not there. So IIT, you know, they do have a couple of tools in their kit, right, to go for disengaging a fight. Hold on. 2v1 now being repaid in favor. Big Boy getting chunked a decent amount. And flash engage here from Big Boy. I don't know, it's close. It's close, but Zin will be able to make his way out of it, thankfully. And they're going to continue to use this Baron buff to push their lead by taking up the tier 1 top. Xin also here back to full health after that initial engage from the set. Set does have his Unleashed teleport coming up in 15 seconds. Circus gonna try to come around here. Gonna be 3 members here stuck. Are they gonna go to Ultimate will capture 2 members here. Can Kugir turn on big here? He hasn't done too much damage just yet. Zeri laser will snap over. Shmooly does have a couple of laser bolts reaching over. The Swag Turtle will fall over finally to the Karthus ultimate. But this is quickly, you know, spiraling out of control here for the Bears. IIT making now also a tier 2 top, and Shmooly looking like he wants to chunk away at the inhib mid as well turret, and that's now only just about 75% of the tower, 75% of the buff depleted here. Another inhib turret here falling. That's a matter of like 1, 2, 3, 4 turrets falling in IIT's favor just with this Baron buff. But that's all they're going to commit for. They got a 1 mid inhib. Top will remain standing for now. And Pikeville need to likely rethink their strategy. Can they catch out Shmooly? That's definitely where they need to look for. They either need to isolate Shmooly away from a team fight, fight a member of IIT when Shmooly is not there, or yeah, I just don't think they have enough CC tools to be able to really get her out of the way. The cleanse as well is just really good. Lulu's polymorph is huge and just stopping anyone from doing anything too crazy. So we'll see. IIT begins their vision control here. There are tons of pings coming out. They want to see what's going around. Leona going to be using her arcane coming out all the way around. That's going to be a very late Leona to the fight. Will stun a couple of members, but biggest big boy still holding on. It's going to be a decent amount of damage. We'll be able to chunk him down just a bit. Flash heal being used by Lulu. Oh my, and that's going to be the RQ for the Trundle. You got a Gren, and that's the GG well played, looks like as well. This guy is not happy with his team. I am hoping that rage quit was not meant as bad sportsmanship, and hopefully, you know, something positive, but who knows. Yeah, just a crazy Hail Mary engage. IIT doesn't fall for it. They take advantage of Leona just not being present in that fight. Pretty Wild West fighting there from these guys, but it's like the definition of solo queue, dude. These guys, like, don't get me wrong, their early game's pretty good. Their top jungle, their mid jungle synergy is pretty good. Circus is definitely like something I would not want to face in solo queue just because he's able to just bring out so much potential in like cutting off members, getting kills early. But yeah, really Pikeville's bot lane was the one that was lacking behind for both games, and it showed. MVP for sure, Shmooly. I want an interview with him. But game 2, 24-14 in kills, 55.5 to 45.4k in gold. Well played there for the Hawks. That will be able to have them live another day. And excuse me. We'll have them go 2-0 for today. Well played from these guys. So, give me a sec to fix my client window again. I don't understand why it does that, but whatever. All right, yeah, damage department. 24k, that's juicy. Trundle tried, right? Karthus damage doesn't actually count. It's useless. Silas, I thought he had potential, but maybe I was wrong. Doesn't seem like. I mean, he has kills, but crowd control about the same. Vision score 66 to 81. Yeah, I mean, once we started going from the mid to late, I think IIT had much more control in terms of like what's going on. Singed had a little bit more personal responsibility in terms of not being dove too much. There were a couple of unavoidable situations. All right. let's ask. All right, we'll jump into an interview with one of IIT's players here today. So new person to introduce. It's going to be. Gotta change the info real quick. Give me a sec. This is Schmovie. I don't have any first fun facts about this guy I know about, but I think he's a first year studying AI, right, or something. Let me check my stats. First year, yeah, studying AI. So, oh wait, he's from Soraka Jungler is what I'm supposed to apparently put down. There, that's my fun fact. Okay, let's see. Jump here and bring Schmovie over. Hello?
What's up?
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah,
Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing alright. Well, it was actually a pretty crap day. I had a bleeding nose
Oh,
this morning, so
oh,
that
that's
took
nice.
a some time out of my Saturday. But
Hate
I
to see
had a
it.
bagel sandwich for lunch. So that was pretty nice
Oh,
too, though.
that's nice. Get it from a restaurant?
Big Apple Bagel. It's a
Oh,
suburban joint. Yeah.
nice. Nice.
But so it's funny because I got a message on Discord, right, from David saying Jacob wants to interview today, and I was like, I was going to interview him anyway because he was definitely the MVP for these two games.
Yeah,
So
that's why I said it. Originally, we were gonna have David do it, and then I'm like, yeah, I kind of popped off today. I'm cool with taking the interview.
yeah, no, I think it was a really good two games, and um, so for a little bit of background, how about since this is the first time that your first year at IIT, can you just give a bit of an
Mm,
introduction about what are you studying? How long have you been playing League? Just some
right.
background info.
Okay. I don't actually remember the season it was, but I started playing League after Zaya came out. It was like the month. I think it was season 7, 6, somewhere around there.
It was when I was in
Um,
college for sure, so that would be like when they had that big trailer, so that's like maybe 2016, 2015.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
somewhere around there. It was I think my last year of middle school, first year of high school, somewhere around there.
Oh man.
Um, Yeah, I'm a first year of IIT. I'm studying AI or artificial intelligence. Um, it's exciting, interesting stuff.
Okay, and so you do have a bit of league experience, and studying AI, which I know is one of the newer majors at IIT. And so,
Yeah, it offered this
in
year.
high school, did you have any experience playing like in a team environment? Like, did you guys have a high school league team, or did you play league mostly on your own or with friends, anything like that?
Yeah, so during high school we had an esports club that I went to. However, I didn't actually play uh League in the esports club. I played Super Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm used to like the esports competitive environment, but not in League. This is the first year I've been doing League competitively. And also Super Smash is a single player game. There's no, team-based element. So it's interesting being in a team as well. But
Yeah,
it's fun.
I do. We do have a Smash team here at IIT, and
Yeah, I saw
we
that.
do sign up for some tournaments, and there is, traditionally, of course, it's just the singles or maybe the doubles, but there is usually the crew battle aspect, which is like the
Mm.
college version where you'll have like 5 students from each school. Each of them have 3 stock, and they kind of just face off against each other. Whoever kills, the other, if they had 1 stock remaining, they'll keep that 1 stock and then face the new person with 3 stocks, and it's kind of like a back and forth style with the crew battle. But there's a bit of like teamwork aspect there. But of course,
Yeah,
in league with a
yeah.
5v5, of course, it's completely different. So, how has that environment, so then that tells me that you've been mostly playing kind of just like solo queue on your own before you met with this team. How has that been? How in terms of the dynamics and working with new people, constant
Yeah.
each reoccurring.
So I basically, when I used to play League, like before coming to IIT and the esports club, I basically either played Noim's solo queue or I played ranked flex with my friends or Clash. So I'm kind of used to the competitive like teamwork environment with like 5 friends or 4 friends getting into a Clash game or a ranked flex game. But I've never really played ranked Noims or ranked solo queue until this year and the end of last year because I was on the esports team. So it's definitely interesting. Um, I'm not too sure when climbing with it, but It's not bad. I don't hate it.
Yeah, but definitely the environment, playing in a flex or with your friends or in a collegiate is definitely different from solo queue, right? You'll
Definitely.
notice just like in the way the coordination is, the positioning maybe for fights and whatnot is definitely a different beast entirely. So let's talk about the games though. So I think this is the first logged performance I have of IIT playing Zeri. And so for game two, how has that champ been for you? How have you been enjoying it? And what was the decision behind that pick for this game for game two?
Uh, so for Debbie, she is probably the most fun champion I've played in a while. She is so enjoyable in team fights. She gets crazy move speed and just runs around. It's kind of like Vayne, but different aspect of playing it. I've been having a blast in solo queue. We played her a lot of scrims, and we have, I think, pretty high win rate of Zerian scrims as well. And we just figured for the first game, since they banned Aphelios, scared of my Aphelios there, we figured another power pick would be something like Zeri, who's pretty strong at the moment, and we've been having good practice with her. So I figured now would be the time to bust it out, and it went well. Especially because I believe at that point we already had the Zinzao, and then we just play. And Zeri Lulu's a good lane. Lulu's really good with Zinzao as well. We just play rundown comp, works well in team comp.
Yeah, so in terms of, your opponents with Pikeville, it seemed like both the early game, it seemed like they, at least with Kugir, with the Karthus bot pick, they just kind of just opted him just to be like, do what you can, but they're not looking, really for any engage potential. It seemed like they just wanted to let the Leona roam, or let that Halal dude roam top lane for like these dives constantly. So what was the strategy? What was the kind of mentality behind your team at that time during that early game when you guys were kind of behind in the top side jungle?
Yeah, so basically the plan was we kind of figured they were going to go for every Rift Herald, and I think they did. To basically everyone that spawned. We were just trying to minimize the damage top side, since me and Poro knew if we could just zone off the Karthus, he's not going to be a champion after like 20 minutes, and both games that's exactly what happened. So we basically just told them to minimize the damage, trying to get drags if we can defend them, or at least delay them to try and slow the game down to give a top side time to scale. And that was basically the entire goal. Just get the Karthus behind. If they have to play a 4v5, then we win the game.
Okay, no, I agree with that. I agree with that decision making. Just mitigate as much loss as possible. Joey, just fend for yourself where you can, but don't give too many kills away. And he definitely only, I mean, he had less kills than Zin and Poro, so
I
that's
mean
all
both
good
games he
things,
only
right?
only
Yeah.
3 deaths, despite like being
Yeah,
constantly dove and
besides being
bullied.
camped and bullied, yeah, no, for sure.
They did a great
Um,
job of that.
okay, so looking like, that's good to hear that you guys are, learning and being more adaptable towards these kind of different play styles and at least have a solution, for even if one side gets too focused in on to make sure that we take advantage somewhere else for the fight.
It definitely helped the second game, since we knew they did the exact same thing as they did the first game basically with a little bit less roaming. So that helped a whole lot that game. Because the first game we still had the early game was kind of shaky top side. I think they fell quite a bit behind, but the second game they were barely behind at all. So it really didn't hurt that much, and we knew exactly what they're gonna do. And I got super fed, and I just carried the game from there.
Yep, for sure. So, last question will just be, what's your end goal, I guess, for the season, and are you looking probably to continue playing with the team in the future for future years?
Yeah, I absolutely plan on staying with the team. It's been really fun. Hopefully we can keep it up. Although personally, I'm kind of torn between switching to mid next year, because when I play solo queue, I only ever play mid lane because ADC in solo queue it feels horrible. Um, so I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I think with the next champion coming out, or the second champion that's next coming out, is gonna be another ADC. So that'll definitely decide if I decide to stay with AD carry and we switch to mid. But definitely plan on staying on the team regardless of what I choose.
Okay, well there you have it. So, I mean, I think your performance today shows that you're capable as a bot, regardless, even if you decide to transition over to mid. So, and it's always good, at least in collegiate rosters, to be not only just have a flexible champion pool, but even sometimes having a flexible role to be able to do multiple roles at a high level is always great for the team, especially since you usually have like not just 5 members, just each one has only one role. Sometimes
Right.
having a little bit of flexibility, like I said, is just good. So I'll move you back to your room, but again, congrats on the 2-0 and good luck on your first year competing for the team.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Okay, moved him back. That'll be it for today. Not gonna cut it off with too much reminiscing again. Just feeling a little bit under the weather with me falling a little bit sick this morning with the nosebleed thing. So once again, 2-0 there for IIT Hawks. Will move on and continue their hopes of a conference run, and so 38th seed showing up against the 34th, all good things. And as they mentioned, I was giving a lot of flack, to their top lane and jungle, and again, it's just not. That's not something that's aimed towards like being toxic. It's more of just like how I am as a person when I kind of just talk about these kind of games and see the flow. And it's of course, backseat gaming is something I'll try to make sure I avoid as much as possible. But again, it seemed like IIT knew of this, of the approach that Pikeville was trying to go with this kind of like top lane dive domination, and but nevertheless they were still able to kind of navigate their way through that difficulty, show up really big on team fights, and game two, they definitely did not let Pikeville get away with it as long as they did back in game one. So GG's to the Hawks. We'll try to make sure we get a cast in for next week, and that'll be another exciting day for League of Legends. So Elvin Moy signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone.